disciples. I love that. He just chilled with his disciples. You can imagine the conversation around the campfire and, hey, well, I was going to say, get me a beer while you're up, but that's probably not what they said. But, I mean, that's what happens around my campfire. Hey, if you're getting up, go ahead, get me a soda. But that's isn't that a picture? That's a picture for me. He took his disciples off to the countryside and relaxed. And they just chatted and talked. And everything he said was miraculous God speaking to people. But it didn't all get written down. But this did. And there he remained with them and baptized. One gospel writer says, yeah, but don't get confused. Jesus himself didn't baptize. It was disciples who was baptizing. Nevertheless, they were following after him. Now, John also was baptizing in Aenon near Salim because there was much water there. Pause for a second, not part of the sermon. I'm allowed to interject things that don't fit, right? But I thought this was just crazy powerful because we, especially in our Bible study in Joshua, we're learning that there were special places in the Middle East where people kept coming back to and building temples out of rocks and worshiping God. And they came back to this valley, and they came back to Mount Eber, and Abraham was there, and then Moses was there, and now Joshua was there, and they just keep returning to these holy places, these special places. And last week we went to the river and baptized because there wasn't enough water in here. We went down there. But we've treated it, at least in my mind, it's become a holy place. We finally, after 22 years, we got a place, and we've owned the property for all that time. We've just never been able to get to it. Now we can, and we've been baptizing people. I don't know, a couple dozen by now since we got the thing open, and last week was powerful, and we baptized it. And this is saying, and they went to near Salem to Enon. Why? Just because there was enough water there. Nothing holy about that, nothing special, not this sacred place. It's just, hey, how about over there? There's water. Okay, let's do it there. And that's a word for me, and I'm going to share it with you. Sometimes we think that God only works miracles in holy places. And sometimes when you're out sharing, I just wish I need God, and I know I need to pray, and you're going to say, I'm going to wait till I get to church because that's a holy place, and then I'm going to meet with God there, and I really got to talk to God, and I need God, I need some answers, and I'm going to make sure I pray on Sunday when I get to church. And it's like we put God in this little place, in this box, in this holy place, when I think this scripture is just saying, hey, I'll show up wherever you want me to. I'll do the miraculous God-man thing, because baptism is miraculous. Don't you agree? I mean, it's our outward sign, but God says, baptize as a result of what I'm doing in you inwardly and spiritually, that you believe. You somehow have broken through the message of the world and found truth in me and placed your trust in me and in my name, so you're going to be baptized in my name as a response to that. And God is doing some miraculous stuff. And he says, I'll do it in the Shenandoah. I'll do it in Enon. I'll do it wherever you want me to show up. I'm there. I'll do it in the parking lot when you're crying in your car. How many of you dropped off kids and just sat in the car for a minute and just prayed? God meets you there and does miraculous work wherever you need him. Okay, back to the sermon. And they came and were baptized, for John had not yet been thrown into prison. Then there arose a dispute between some of John's disciples and the Jews about purification. It's always an argument from the church to people who are trying to do God's work. You're not credentialed. You're not wearing the right collar. You haven't been to the right school. You're not reading the right translation. Nobody's given you authority. Who gave you authority to do this stuff? So they're always arguing about it. And they're arguing about, you're down there in the water, and you got all these people in the water, but we have rules about water. Did you bless it right? Did you pray 3 times? Did you do all these things that we're supposed to do? It's always some. That's one of the reasons that I have put both feet in on the Global Methodist Church. I've never been one who is a rule keeper necessarily for denominations. It's always been God first, denomination second. And when the denomination, and this goes for anything that goes off track, I'm gonna side with Scripture. I'm gonna side with God and not that. And that's, that got me into trouble. I was never one of the shining stars of denomination. In the Global Methodist Church, if we're not careful, we can get that way too. And we have celebrities and shining stars and, big shots. But one of the reasons I'm in is because we're not after that. We're after a movement. And we're credentialing regular people. And now just any of you could go plant a church, and we're going to pray for you and sanction it, and we're going to bless it, and we're going to equip it and do whatever you want. You don't have to go through all these, because the denomination is about spreading and moving and going, not about building itself up and making people famous within it. And anytime it starts to go that way, then we're going to have to reassess ourselves. But for now, the Global Methodist movement is about followers of Christ doing the work of the kingdom for Christ, not about building a name for a denomination. That wasn't sermon either. That's just back to the text. Here we go. There was a dispute. And they came to John and said, Rabbi, he who was with you beyond the Jordan, to whom you have testified, behold, he is baptizing, and all are coming to him. John answered and said, a man can receive nothing unless it has been given to him from heaven. You yourselves bear me witness that I said, I am not the Christ, but I have been sent before him. He who has the bride is the bridegroom, but the friend of the bridegroom we call best man, who stands and hears him, rejoices greatly because of the bridegroom's voice. Therefore, this joy of mine is fulfilled or complete. John is saying, look, I know I got a whole bunch of people follow me, and the crowds are starting to thin out. I know I was big and famous for a while, and now everybody's going to him, and you're concerned about it. Shouldn't I be jealous? Shouldn't I be worried about it? The crowds aren't here anymore. The fame isn't here anymore. It's all going away. John is saying, because I am less, my joy is complete. My joy is full. How many of you have ever done that? You showed up and you just found out that she got the promotion, and you did all the work. Doggone it. I mean, you were doing everything and giving it, and then and it's her name in the paper, and it's her name on the sign, and Employee of the Month, and they got all that credit, and you got nothing. And you said to yourself, wow, my joy is complete. My heart is full. Bless her. I did all of that so that she or he could get all the credit. One of the things I said last week, I think, someplace, but T has on the refrigerator a little thing from Indira Gandhi that says, there are two kinds of people in the world, those who do all the work and those who take the credit. Be in the first group. It's less crowded. God is calling us to put the increase and the glory and defer everything, all the praise, all the glory, all the fame to him instead of us. That's a real challenge for preacher-teacher types. I mean, it's something I wrestle with. I've said